Sunday, 18 December 2022. This Skidmark is one of the what a fuck moments, and this is something that I have spoken about in previous Skidmarks, and I've mentioned it a few times. But what is currently happening in South Africa really makes me believe that this is the only way forward. If I look at that circus that they've got there, at that ANC gathering at Nasrec, it is absolutely astounding to imagine that Mkhize, a guy that has been enveloped in a lot of serious corruption during the pestilence, he is a candidate with a strong possibility of becoming the president of the ANC. Now, to me, that is just a confirmation that this ANC is actually a gang of crooks. It's a lot of gangsters, and that's what they are. They can't be anything else. The nightmare is that they are in charge of this country, and that is absolutely a disaster for South Africa. There were people that were talking about the 2024 elections and shit like that, and I told them flat out, there's no way. South Africa cannot survive another 2 years under these criminals. It will not have a good outcome. We need a regime change, and we need that regime change now. Not in 2 years' time, now. The ANC is no longer even trying to hide the fact that they are just a big criminal organization. Organized crime system. That is what they are. And I feel sorry for the ordinary ANC members that are not like that. The reality is the ANC is solidly in the hands of the criminals. They have all the power, and the decent people in the ANC doesn't have a chance. That is the reality. And those decent people in the ANC have no option. They must go. But let me come back, and I want to play you a video. It's just over a minute, and I would suggest that you really focus on what this guy is saying.
Afrikaners. Love them or hate them, the Afrikaners. But they gave us the country that was functional. Amabhunu sathatha izwe lisebenza, a functional state. In as much as the nationalist party was cruel to humanity, but they left us with a functioning state. Where is the railway today? Where is the SAA today? Where is the healthcare system today? Even though during the apartheid there was a board says white only and blacks only, but whenever you enter that door which is written black, you will get a service, you will get, you will get all the medication that you want. Today there is no white or black, but there is no service.
Now there's a lot of interesting statements that he makes, but take note, he says clearly, during apartheid there was two doors, one for whites only, other one blacks only. But if you went through the blacks only door, on the other side you would find all the service that you need and all the medicine that you require. No difference once you're through that door. And today there is no more two doors, one for whites and one for blacks. There's only one door. But you go through that door and there's nothing. Nothing. No service. The reality is that South Africa is a complex society. And this country, this republic, was constructed and structured by extremely intelligent people, by people with the right skills, people that had the vision, the commitment, and the morality to set up a working civil service. At the peak of the apartheid regime, South Africa was a perfect example of a working socialist state. And I know there's many Afrikaners that will frown about that now, but that's the reality. Look at the facts. One of the things that the South African government did was they granted bursaries and loans to students. And you could never pay that loan back to the government. You had to work back 1 year for every year. So if you had a 4-year loan or a 4-year bursary, at the end of that course of yours, you must go to the back and work for the government for 4 years. Now what did that do? That ensured that the government had good, well-qualified people. All the universities and colleges, you could go and study government service diplomas there or government service degrees. That ensured that the management structure in the government was qualified people, and promotion did not happen on experience only. You had to improve your qualifications. So the ANC inherited a perfectly working government structure, and with affirmative action and BEE and all their racist drives and appointments of cadres and treating the civil service as a job creator, they have fucked it up to such a point that nothing works. Nothing is working anymore. Railways gone, social services gone, Department of Works gone, military gone, police gone, Department of Water Affairs gone. Every department, health, education, name it, gone, trashed. There are people there that have got no idea how to run that department. Look at the ANC cabinet. Who in that cabinet is actually qualified apart from having a black skin? Who? Name him. There's William Kiese. He's apparently qualified, but he's a fucking crook. He was caught out. So, Cele, what has he got? No fucking experience in policing, nothing. But he's the Minister of Police. The one fucking disaster after the other. Year on year, the crime stats just get worse and worse. But that lame duck Ramaphosa keeps him there. That woman that is in charge of the small businesses. Absolute idiot. But they run big budgets. They have fucked up everything. And now the latest disaster that is coming home to roost is Eskom. Now, the ANC does not have physical control over the country anymore. That is a fact. For a government to have physical control, they must be able to provide security to the people of the country. We don't have an army, military that is good in any point. We don't have that. We don't have a police force that is up for the task. We don't have that. The police, I would say about 30% of the police force are good policemen, and the 70% is just job creations. Another big problem is this child grant. That thing will bankrupt the government, because there's no way that an economy can grow faster than what these women can breed. It is impossible. And within 10, 15 years, we're going to sit with millions and millions and millions of unemployed youth. People that will never get a job in their whole life. And the government's going to go bankrupt. I see now tonight that finally the military has been deployed to 4 of the Eskom power stations. That is a good start, but it's not enough. Eskom need to be ring-fenced and enveloped in a state of disaster. Military must go in, and every person that is caught red-handed damaging infrastructure must be shot on the spot. No arrests and long court cases. They must be shot because they're terrorists. That's what they are. The ANC has clearly seen the light, in the sense that they've realized, and Montage slipped and made it public, that Eskom can topple the government. Now, there is people in this country for which that will be an inspiration to fuck Eskom up further. So we have to be aware of that. You must listen to this, what P.V. Botha said. And that was in 1988. Black people cannot rule themselves because they don't have the brain and mental capacity to govern a society. I think that is a generalization, but it's valid. Give them guns, they would kill themselves. Give them power, they will steal all the government money. Give them independence and democracy, they will use it to promote tribalism, ethnicity, bigotry, hatred, killings, and wars. And that is exactly where we are today. Whether you like PV or not, that was his words, was printed, and there it is, for history that you can read. Now, if you look at this map, this is South Africa with the 9 provinces. It is my personal opinion that the days of the Republic is over. It is way too complex for these IQ 70 comrades and cadres to manage. They've proven it. It is there. Everything is fucked up and collapsed. What needs to go is South Africa as a republic must cease to exist. That republic must be broken up into, for a start, 9 independent states. If Swaziland can be independent, why can KwaZulu not be? Why can Gauteng not be? If Lesotho can be independent, why can the Free State not be? Why can the Northern Cape not be? Why can the Western Cape not be independent? Give me good reasons for it. There is no good reasons. And that independent states, they can create a loose federal relationship with each other. Reality is this: the ANC cannot govern this whole big country anymore. It's impossible, it's beyond it. Breaking it up into 9, for a start, 9 independent states will immediately remove the national grip that the ANC has on South Africa, because there's no way in the world that they will get a majority in every one of those provinces. They won't. And in many of those provinces, if they're independent states, you will find that the goodwill among the people is of such that they will not choose their government purely on a race. They will choose the government and put people in government that can make that state work. That's what they will do. We've seen it many places in the smaller towns where the black and white people are jumping in together and saving their town, or saving their environment, or saving their community. The racism problem is in the hands of the politicians, and that is the problem. The normal people I've said it many times. I've never been into a shop where a person refused to serve me because I'm white. I've never walked in a parking area and a guy walks up to me and wants to kill me because I'm white. I've never encountered that. The racism thing is in the politicians, and they've got a few militants that are supporting them. Cadres. So, break this republic up. It's beyond its sell-by date. It cannot go on like this. It will take us all down. And then there are areas, like in the Northern Cape, there are sub-areas there that can also split off. Just as there is sub-areas in the Mpumalanga region, the Northwest, and the Limpopo region. So we will end up in the end with 14, maybe 14, 15 states. And that is where we have to go. The future of the world is going to be breaking up of conglomerates. The EU is proof that these conglomerates is a disaster for the people, because countries are losing their individuality and ethnic groups are losing their individuality. I've just read an article now about Russia. I always said there's 117 ethnic groups. I believe I've seen there's 190 ethnic groups in Russia. I also had a discussion today with a good friend, and he mentioned to me that from the information that he has, Putin absolutely hates discrimination against minorities. So this ANC better wake up and look around. The Russians is not going to be happy with their fucking conduct. And they are suppressing minorities in South Africa, and not only us, the whites, they're suppressing the colours and the Indians as well. And that is not going to go down well. And then, something that nobody wants to talk about. There's a lot of fucking racism cock between the blacks. The Zulus and the guys from the Limpopo don't like one another a fucking bit. These people here in my area are shit scared of the Zulus. And that is the big thing. Nobody wants to talk about these things. But that's the realities. So, I'm saying it again. This republic must go. And it must be broken up, and it must be broken up rapidly. These people that are resisting the Western Cape from becoming independent, and that includes the DA, they must think carefully about this cock. They will sink that province. And I say again, if Lesotho can be independent, why can the Western Cape not be independent? If Swaziland can be independent, why can KwaZulu not be independent? They are hanging on to this republic so that they can hang on to power. Those days are over. It is over. Look at what's happening in Ukraine. Putin is fighting a fucking war because minorities were discriminated against and killed in the Ukraine. Now, I am sure there are people that will differ from me vehemently, and I don't give a fuck. Write it in the comments. The reality is, my opinion, the republic must go. It is done, and it serves no purpose. It is at the end of life. It was a big thing when it started, but now it's a big fuck up, and it must go. And I'm quite sure that if that happens, and the populations of the different states realize that they are actually out under the grip of this ANC criminal gang, things will change dramatically on the political scene. That's it. And I don't know if South Africa can afford it to wait for 2024. It is going to be too late. And on that note, please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing, and thank you very much for your support. I see the subscribers are climbing nicely, but the channel is kept under the blankets by the algorithms. And it is important that you share these things. With the sharing, you can break out of that hold that they have over us. As you can see, sitting here in the fucking dark, load shedding, horrific load shedding here for us this weekend. 4 hours dead, 4 hours live, 2 hours dead, 4 hours live, 4 hours dead. My UPS batteries cannot get recharged. They get up to about 50-60% and it's the next session. South Africa, wake up. Break up this republic. It is done.